In this video, we're going to be going through performing LUN masking using esxcli. So we're going to use the VMFS VCAP masking data store here. You can see that it's mounted. And let's go check out the paths. There's two paths to it. And we'll also show it in the GUI, or we're in the GUI, in the command line. So you can see there's two paths going to it. They're both greened up. Let's go over to our host. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the device name or the device ID for that particular LUN that we want to mask. So here you'll see there's three listed. One is obviously local, and then there's the other two. The one we're looking for is the VCAP masking one, which is here. So let's copy that device ID. Now we did just look at the GUI and saw the two paths. So let's do it here in the CLI. So here you'll see again that there's two paths. One going to channel 0 target 1 LUN 0, and the other is going to channel 2 target 1 LUN 0. When you add a claim rule, you have to use a rule number. You can come up with one yourself, or you can use the -u parameter, and that will auto assign it for you. So if you want to add your own rule number, you need to know what rules exist. So let's list out the current claim rules. There's not very many of them, as you can see, but we're not worried about this. We're going to use the -u parameter and auto assign those rule numbers. Let's start over with a fresh screen. Bring up our paths again so we have it. Now let's mask the first path, the channel 0 target 1 LUN 0. So -u to auto assign it. So channel 0 target 1 LUN 0. Now the -p parameter specifies which plugin you want to use, and in this case we're using the mask path plugin because we want to mask the LUN, obviously. Alright, let's execute that. No feedback is always good feedback. So now let's do a listing of the claim rules and look at that rule we just added. Alright, here you'll see it's rule 5001, and the plugin is the mask path. Now you'll see here under the class that it's only in file and it's not in runtime. What that means is file basically puts it in the esxconf file and it's not loaded into runtime. So even though it's there, you can't really do much with it. So to load it into runtime, you got to run the load command. Alright, so now let's do another listing. Okay, so now you'll see it here, this line, that it's now in runtime. Now if you were to take a look at the paths again, you'd still see both paths active. And that's because even though we've created a new claim rule to mask it, and we've loaded it into runtime, there's still another plugin that's claimed that path, which is the NMP, the native multi-plug plugin. So before a new plugin can take over, you have to reclaim or disassociate the claim rules for that particular device and then reload it. And we can do that with this command. That's the reclaim command. Use the -D to specify the device. Again, no feedback is good feedback. Now if we take a look at the paths, again you should see only one. And that is not what I want to do. And now you can see the only path that exists is channel 2, target 1, LUN 0. Real quick, let's go take a look at that in the GUI. Alright, now as you can see there's only one path listed in there. But now we gotta let's mask the other path. Typically what you'd probably want to do is, before you disassociate the native multipathing plugin, you know what we just did with that reclaiming command, you'll create rules for all your paths first and then run that reclaiming command again, or only once. So by doing that, you don't have to continue to run it every time. You just create all your rules, run, load them into runtime, and then do the reclaim, and you're done. So let's add the rule for this other one. So it's going to be channel 2 this time. Still target 1. You got to put a space in between the channel or target or LUN, and then whatever number you're using. Again, -P is for plugin, and we're using the mask_path plugin. Alright, no feedback is good feedback. We're not going to do a listing of the rules. We've seen how that process works, and let's load them into runtime. And now the last thing we need to do again is reclaim that device, which essentially disassociates that remaining path from the native multipathing plugin and reassociates it with whatever claim rules is loaded. Now if we look in the vSphere client real quick, we should see that, and there goes, that LUN just disappeared. So, real quick, if you go back to the claim rules, well, what I believe is happening here, and I haven't verified it, is when when the claim rules are getting associated with devices, like when we run the reclaim command, what it's doing is it's processing this list. So it's going to go down and look for a match, and the first match wins. So that's why this the NMP rule down here is, vendor star, model star. All vendors, all models will get associated with the native multipathing plugin unless it gets taken by a rule earlier. So, and also if you want to then unmask the path, you'll have to remove the rules, reload the claim rules into runtime, and then you'll run an unclaim command for each of the locations, and then you'll have to rescan the adapter most likely. So let's do that real quick. It's rule 5001 and 5002. Let's reload the claim rules. And finally, this is a different command than we've run before. We gotta unclaim those paths from that plugin. So it's claiming, but instead of reclaim like we did earlier, we're going to say unclaim. Specify that it's a location, and then give the location. So again, channel target LUN. And then the same thing for channel 2, target 1, LUN 0. 2. Now here, if we look at those paths again, for that device, it should show up. And there you go, now they're back. But before, when you saw it disappear automatically without me having to do a rescan, it doesn't seem to do this in my testing, so what you need to do is just do a rescan on that adapter. Spell adapter properly. $35, not $25. Alright, so the rescan is complete, and our LUN's back. Alright, that completes doing masking a LUN through esxcli and showing you how to unmask it.